which is trust. And but there's more to that. I like to sort of start at the beginning of what I wanted to say, and to hear you talk about insecurity and things like that. I mean, that's totally me when I was younger. When I was very young, I'd say about 16, I remember I went to see a doctor, and I was having a checkup, and he looked at my chest right here, and he saw all this psoriasis right here. And they just kind of said, I don't understand why that's there, you know. So fast forward to about, let's say, 7 or 8 years ago, because I just really want to focus on just one thing, which is this, the center heart. I started to get a lot of pain around here. This wasn't a heart problem. This was the joints between the sternum and the ribs. And I was going for cortisone injections for that. And that was pretty awful. Like I was sort of in a place where I couldn't sit, I couldn't lie down, I couldn't roll over, I couldn't do anything. And I didn't really understand why this was happening to me at that point in my life. Of course, fast forward to now, I completely understand, because here at the center heart, or at the heart, this is where our creation is. This is really where our innocence is, and this is where our knowing is. And the answer to being able to heal that was not through taking cortisone and all the meds I was on, or anything else. Or, you know, and I've had surgery on my wrist and my knees, and I was going to have fusions done, and all that kind of stuff. And that's all in the past. So what I'm trying to say about the importance of the center heart, because, you know, we use expressions like, you know, heartfelt, let's have a heart-to-heart conversation. And I was thinking a lot about this. Why do we use expressions like that? Because this is where the love is residing. You know, this is where the spirit is. And to recognize that I am not this body and that I am not this mind is sort of the idea of the way of being able to release what I had wrong with me, and to simply allow what is already known within to bring me back to where I was when I was very young and very innocent. And this is really kind of amazing. It's when I talk to people about what we do here and my own personal experience, like the example I just gave you, and I say, well, you know, you can go to a doctor. It reminds me of Dr. Mishra being here about belief. But anyway, you can go to a doctor and you can take a pill, or you can go and see the surgeon and have surgeries or whatever. And I'm not saying any of that's wrong. I'm saying that's one way of doing it. But I got to the point in my life where the doctor said to me, you can't do any more meds. I can't give you any more cortisone. Like, you're basically withering away. And so that was about around that time at Glen Abbey, around 1998 or 1999, where I was doing some Tai Chi, and I walked around and I saw the demonstration, much like demonstrations we do. It was really amazing. And I sat down and somebody did something to me, and I didn't know what they were doing, you know. And then I went home and I remember I was lying in bed and I saw all this stuff going on. And then I remember I had the pamphlet the same pamphlet that we still give out now, and I had it in my briefcase for a long time, say 5 or 6 years. And then, I mean, there were some other experiences that I had, but that's when I came back to here. That's when I came back here, right? So it took me that long to get it. Mind you, I was getting some things along the way. Like, I understood that the answer for me wasn't in the conventional realm. The answer for me was connected with understanding who I really am, spirit. You know, so I could talk a little bit about motherhood and fatherhood, you know, Shiva and Rama, because for those, to me, impacted on me significantly when I was very young. Like, my parents were really amazing what they did. But as with most of us, probably, there's always stuff. And I was the kind of person that would rather not say anything and be in a corner and just hide everything. So what I'm really trying to share is, even though that was the route that I took well into my adulthood as well, and you're talking about, you know, standing up here and talking and so on, and for me that's kind of fun now, actually, to share. I don't have to share anything, but you get the essence of what I'm saying. So for me, that's all about heart-centeredness. This is where the love is. So when we want to share something with someone, you know, I understand for me that this is where it's coming from. This is like the key point. These are the key points for me, especially here. Okay, so when I make connections, I can feel it all around me. right now as I'm speaking. So what I like to do is share a bit of artwork because this has profoundly influenced my artwork. So I'm just going to grab my artwork and come back. So anyway, this is a piece of artwork right here. So I go to a studio once in a while, and we work with models. And this is a model, believe it or not, okay? And so my peers are watching me paint, and they're saying, well, what are you doing? I said, I just let my hand flow. That's what I'm talking about. Like, so heart-centeredness is about allowing yourself to flow. I've done some notes. I did a lot of reading, but I thought, I don't really need that. I'll just talk because I know I'm going to say the right things, trusting myself to say the right thing. So in my artwork, the same thing. So here's a model, and I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm just doing it. And the interesting part for me is my kids are so in touch with me, and they've given me some books to read. Like there's a book that was given to me by Leonardo da Vinci, another one by Henry Moore, the sculptor, and talked about the creative aspect, which is the feminine side, or our left side. And we all have this ability to be creative, okay? This is where it comes from, to create. But the thing is, when you look at my painting, I took my painting to my mom's place, okay? And she was looking at it, and then she took the painting. You may see other things in here already, I don't know. But anyway, she took the painting, and she just was looking at it like this, and she says, oh, Adrian, she said, I recognize that. And I said, really, what do you see? She says, I'll get an atlas. My mother was in the Wrens during the Second World War, and she spent time sometimes on the west coast of England. So this is the Severn River right here, and this is the Bristol Channel. This is Bristol, and this is Cardiff over here.
Wow.
And she was saying this is where she used to walk along here. I didn't even know that, right? She's just this is what she saw.
Wow.
Pardon me?
So cool.
Yeah, really? It's so amazing. My mom's telling me this, right? Now, if you turn a picture upside down, what you might actually see is an Easter egg. Okay, like this here in a cup with an egg with all kinds of stuff and colors coming out of it. Somebody else pointed that out to me. And if you hold it like this, I've even forgotten because I haven't looked at it in a while. This is actually a fish right here, swimming through water. So this is what happens with my painting because I allow it to flow. Okay, I allow it to flow. And more recently, I went to Chile, and I emailed Ioana and I told her I saw some condors. So when I came back, I went to the studio and I thought, well, I'll draw a painting of a condor. Right here, it's not the real color, but it's the idea of it. And then I take that to the studio. I didn't do this at the studio, I did it at home, and then that's the model, right? And then my kids gave me some books, the same books I just mentioned. They're talking about Henry Moore and Leonardo da Vinci and just allowing yourself to be, just allowing yourself to flow. So the kids gave me a book about the condor is in Egyptian mythology is symbolic of rebirth. Okay, I didn't know that about vultures. The condor is a vulture, and so anyway, I'm just painting this painting, and this woman is here, and I've gotten a lot from this since I painted it. But the idea is that I had problems with my neck too, my vishuddhi, and the whole thing here is that the head of the condor is right into the neck here of the woman, and the whole idea of renewal is through consumption. So you consume in order to renew, right? That's the idea. I didn't really understand what I was doing when I was doing again this painting. This rock, I'm not exactly sure of. I brought back a small stone from because I was cycling there, and when I was on the mountain, I saw this stone. And I figured this had to be somewhere in here, but I think this has something to do with ascension, but I'm not sure. But anyway, that's an example of how what we do has affected me, influenced me, okay? In a different kind of way. But it's all the same, really. It doesn't matter whether you're doing music or whether you're doing dance or whether you're doing your gardening or whatever it happens to be, or whether you're in a relationship with someone, friends, whatever, you have a way of seeing things that are not of what we see, right? That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. And so by allowing myself simply, these things just come, they come out, they come through.